Hey guys, it's Jack at the Paranormal Intelligence Agency. This is something I've been wanting to get to for a while now. This is footage of a translucent creature that's been recorded in the woods now by 3 different Bigfoot investigators. The first being a man named Bob Garrett, who J.C. Johnson told me had his house raided by the Department of Homeland Security and all of his computer equipment seized. So we can only assume at this time that that seizure was due to this film. A few researchers that Bob Garrett knew were able to download copies before that happened. As far as I know, Bob Garrett has dropped off the map. I have not done a skip trace on him yet, but I believe that last I heard, he just could not be found. So the very first part of this film is from Bob Garrett's 3 Miles In. And if you'll look to the right of the screen, there'll be several loops of the creature. It keeps looping. You're going to watch it move a couple of palm leaves, and then it moves between 2 trees, and that's where you're going to see the better part of the form of the creature. Again, Bob Garrett was 3 miles into the forest when he filmed this, and you can imagine how scary that 3 miles back out would be. Many people have a difficulty seeing the entity until they watch the film quite a few times, but you will see it. And if you just keep focusing on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a green palm leaf. It will walk past that, then between 2 trees. There were another group of Bigfoot investigators who were in the field, 2 women, and they were able to film a very similar looking creature. Now on this next film, you're going to, it will be pointed out pretty much exactly where to look and when. And what you'll see is the same type of creature with the same kind of translucence moving through the vegetation. We're not sure what these creatures are. I consider them a prospect in the missing 411 cases at this time. A lot of people think in the Bigfoot community that these are Bigfoot that are able to cloak themselves. So I don't believe that Sasquatch has that ability. That has not been my experience out in the field. So right now, I'm thinking that this is a completely new type of cryptid animal, and perhaps either alien or interdimensional in nature. So on this film, you'll see it move off in the distance, and the researchers respond to the movement, saying, "What is that?" So that's another interesting case. And then we have a researcher named Scott Carpenter who recorded this in the woods. And to him, it looked like a cloaked Sasquatch. I mean, roughly it has that shape that any humanoid cryptid animal will roughly have that same shape. His film analysis is interesting. As you look at it, it will progress to ever more detail. So you can see on the right-hand side, outlined in red, is the initial images of what was standing out to him. So coming up here, you're going to see a side-by-side comparison that initially was done. You can see how the foliage is darker in that area and seems to be obscured by the figure. As you're progressing here, we're going to actually see a few different aspects of the same creature. Now, this is a very good analysis, so you can see the entity in its natural translucent form. And then when that blue light is stripped away, it reveals an entity with a quite a terrifying face, in my opinion. So now we have 3 different researchers recording beings that are able to cloak themselves in the woods of North America. Beyond that, not much is known about this cryptid animal. We don't know if it's a predator. We don't know if it's an observer. We don't know what the intention of these creatures are. But as always, we urge you to be cautious out in the woods. They are a very dangerous place. There are things out there that people don't know about, and things that are very, very dangerous. And we always recommend that you stay armed when you're out there. So when it comes to these creatures, I'm very perplexed. We as a research community are quite perplexed. So, there are a series of movies known as the Predator movies, and in those movies they present a character who had the same ability as this character. So we're going to move on to the paranormal update. And first off is new pictures coming out of Loch Ness, Scotland, obviously of what people are calling pictures of the Loch Ness Monster. Now this is one of 2 photographs taken by a tourist. You'll be able to see how large this creature really is when you see it in front of the trees on the shoreline. It is quite enormous. The photograph does not appear to be manipulated. If you follow the arrow, you'll see what appear to be 2 flippers slightly under the water, making this creature look like a plesiosaur type of animal, as has been reported by eyewitnesses. I think they're probably using lakes like Loch Ness as spawning pools only during certain seasons. So next, we are going to see the actual Daily Mail. I'll pull up here. It's this really messy tourist photo showing creature rising from water. And now they're calling it one of the best photos ever taken. So we'll see where that investigation actually leads. It's perhaps the best evidence that we have for the Loch Ness Monster being real. So you're going to see it there circled in red, and when you look at how large that creature is compared to the coastline trees, it's pretty impressive. Daily Mail has a lot of ads that pop up when you're trying to look at some of their material, but you can see how large that creature is. So there have been people look at the card inside of the camera and have examined the photograph. So that's really kind of what we know right now about the new development at Loch Ness. Moving on in the news, we've got a new subscriber report. This has the Senate Intelligence leaked notes about the ATIP program. And as always, we rely on subscribers for our operations. They provide us with the resources and the time to solve some of the world's greatest mysteries and bring that knowledge back to you, our readers and subscribers. So subscribe to our reports on our website, paranormalintelligenceagency.com. You get them for a full year. You can read all the new reports as they come out, and it's only $20 for a year, so it's like $1.50 a month. Now, the War Zone is running an article about the Air Force's reports on aircrew encounters with unidentified flying craft. Obviously, this is a move after the Navy's move to come out with further disclosure on the UFO phenomenon. Again, we have another subscriber report about 500 million yellow suns, the energy of 500 million suns released in 1/1000th of a second. That is a type of communication that has to be coming from a Type 3 society, as I discussed on Beyond Belief. Tom DeLong at the TTSA is working to change how UFO information is classified so that when it comes out, we don't have to work through all of the paperwork of trying to get access to top secret information. That way there will be instant public access to UFO military related encounters as they occur. The New York Times is reported to be working on an article about the anatomy of a UFO crash retrieval. As always, the links to all of these stories can be found on the website, www.paranormalintelligenceagency.com, or you can Google my name, Jack Cary, C-A-R-Y, and you'll be able to find us on there and like us on Facebook. We recently launched the YouTube channel, so check out some of the videos on there. Now, Season 2 of Unidentified is delivering more military UFO witnesses. If you'll recall, the first season had a number of Navy witnesses, eyewitnesses on the Nimitz and other ships who eyewitnessed the craft, their trans-medium travel from air to sea, and the phenomenal speed and capabilities of the craft. And now they've been interviewed, and it looks like they have more military UFO witnesses come out, and the disclosure just keeps on rolling right along here. So Jeremy Corbell, famous filmmaker, has been working on a couple of films about UFOs, and he recently tweeted that his new film is going to feature witnesses that were at Area 51 and S4 who saw Bob Lazar at those locations and on the Janet flights out to Area 51. We all know who Bob Lazar is, and really, since Bob discussed element 115 years and years before it was discovered and said it was the propulsion secret of the craft, element 115 has now been proven to exist. So Bob Lazar is completely legitimate in his claims. And I might add, there was an attempt made on his life. So at this time, if it can be proven he was employed there, then somebody is responsible for attempted murder related to his disclosure. And finally, we have a story about the UFO or the drone mystery in Colorado. Our subscribers may recall that there was a big phenomenon in Colorado where there were hundreds of drones, and they were seen in different areas, and they appeared to be moving in unison with one another. Nobody knows what the origin is, but we provide a link to this new article, and in that article it discusses that they were not government related. So that's fascinating. And then check out our new page, which is just labeled Paranormal Intelligence. If you look at the bottom of that page, you'll see many of our actual investigation photographs. Those come from Paranormal Intelligence Agency investigations. You'll be able to click on them and blow them up. This is the scariest entity I ever photographed. It is a Dogman from the Lost Creek wilderness area of Colorado. This entity, as you can see, was standing upright. It looked to be 9 or 10 feet tall. It had a forearm bent in front of it, as you can see, blocking out the foliage. Not a bear if it can do that and stand upright for as long as it did. This is a Sasquatch that was photographed in North Carolina. And as you'll see, as I blow it up here, I'll point out the features. This is a dimple in the chin, some sort of a fold that they have. And then right above it here, you're going to see the lip and the mouth of the creature. And then I'm going to move on to the nose. This is sort of a round, bulbous kind of a nose. Here's the cone head shape. And this creature appeared to have some sort of dark type of ochre or something on its face, around its eyes and brow ridge. So that's fascinating. But again, there's the paranormal update. I will be back again very soon with another film for you guys. And as always, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, help us solve some of these mysteries, and I will talk to you guys soon.